Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul Falah bin Shamsul Bahrain. I am from International Islamic University Malaysia (IIUM). With me is Mustafa bin Jubri Shamsuddin. We have conducted a research paper on understanding on rulings of greetings and prayers for non-Muslim in Selangor, an analytical study. In the beginning, Muslims are encouraged to maintain a good relationship with the non-Muslims, especially in this multiracial country like Malaysia. So to make sure that we maintain this good relationship, there are some ways for us to do to engage or to entertain with non-Muslims, such as using the act of congratulate them in celebrations during celebrations or festivals, and also sending prayers, thoughts for them when they faced calamities. So these are some ways that we may use to maintain or to make sure that we have a good relationship with the non-Muslims. However, the issues occur when to what extent does Muslim should do or can do to the non-Muslims during, especially during their festivals or when they face the calamities such as the death of their families. So, to what extent does a Muslim can do? So, the problems occurred, and for instance, such as during the death of Queen Elizabeth II on September 2022, there were some Muslims showed the bereavement by saying "Rest in peace" to the Queen, and this is somehow has sparked some issues among or between Muslims around the world. They said that Muslims should not say "Rest in peace" to the non-Muslim, to the death of the non-Muslims, and some of the others say that it is permissible because to show good interaction or to show some tolerance and to make sure that we live in a harmony since we live in a multiracial country. But this has been some issues for quite some times, and especially during celebrations and also the death of the non-Muslim. So, how, to what extent, or how much does Islam allow us to tolerate with non-Muslims, with their cultures, practices, and to send prayers to them? So this research has conducted some survey on to measure or to know the understanding of the greetings to the non-Muslims and prayers to the non-Muslims among residents in Selangor. For this research, the researcher used Google form as a survey to collect data. Then it will be analyzed to derive a conclusion on the understanding of residents in Selangor and the tolerance of Muslims and non-Muslims in celebrating respective festivals. This survey consisted of four sections. First, demographic information. Second, concept of greeting and prayer in Islam. Third, understanding and application in daily life for the non-Muslims. And lastly, understanding and application in daily life for the Muslim. So this population for this study targeted for 200 respondents that can be Muslim and non-Muslims, comprised of 18 years old and above, which reside in Selangor. They must be living in the state or also can be studying in Selangor. So, moving on, this research used a combined method, which is quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative method using involve when the use of numerical data or data that can be measured, while qualitative method employed when dealing with non-standardized data that requires the expression of meaning through words, such as in managerial decision making. While combined approach or combined method is done because certain findings necessitate a personal assessment of the information gathered from the respondents, while other conclusions can be derived through simple mathematical calculation such as percentage and average. So this is the result of our findings. First, we can see that there are quite a balanced number of female and male respondents, which is 51% of female respondents, and there are 49% of male respondents. from the total respondents of 153, we doesn't meet the targeted respondents. However, this research or this finding can be used to measure the understanding, still can achieve the objective of this research. And we can see that there are 18 to 25 years old youth that consists of most of the respondents of the survey, which is 130 respondents from 153 total respondents. And there are only four respondents which are 40 years old and above. We divided the respondents into districts in Selangor to make sure that which district consists more of the respondents. First of all, we can see that uh, Gombak has most participants, most respondents, which consists of 62 respondents, which is 40.5% from the total respondents. And the least respondents are from Hulu Selangor and Sabak Bernam, which is only two respondents. And from the 153 respondents, there are 113 Muslims and only 40 non-Muslims respondents. So from the survey, we can understand and then we can conclude that there are 112 respondents, or Muslim respondents, agreed that Islam encourage value on to live in harmony, tolerance among non-Muslims, among a multi-religion society. And 83 respondents believe that wishing non-Muslims during their festivals is a form of tolerance and a way to live in harmony, while 105 respondents, most of the respondents know there are two types of greetings, which is religious and non-religious greetings. Meanwhile, seven respondents are unconvinced with this statement. And 90.3% respondents understand that Islam has ruling on wishing to non-Muslims during their festivals, and 92 of the respondents already has the knowledge on the guideline for Muslim to seek prayer for the non-Muslims. Moving on to the next questions, 62 respondents agreed that Muslim can pray for the non-Muslims who are still alive only, and 43 respondents did not really know the answer. Meanwhile, 8 respondents believe that Muslims does not allow or prohibited to seek prayer for the non-Muslim, either alive or dead. And most of the respondents, which is 70.8% of the respondents, understand that Muslims are prohibited to say rest in peace to the deceased of the non-Muslims, or even bigger, such as seek forgiveness for them. However, 13 respondents did not agree with the statement. Instead, they believe that Muslim is permitted to give prayer to non-Muslims who have died, while 20 respondents are unsure on this matter. And most of the respondents, 104 respondents, have a good understanding in giving good words to the bereaved non-Muslim as as a substitute for the words rest in peace. So most of the respondents believe that we can say any other words, any other good words that can be the substitute of the rest in peace. Moving on to the next section is section 3 for the non-Muslims. So 35 of the respondents agreed that every religion has its own rulings for what it is permissible and what is not. And 37 of the respondents aware that classification of festivals are divided into two types, which is religious and non-religious festivals. And 75%, which consists of 30 respondents of the non-Muslims, have the understanding that Islam already set guidelines for Muslims in relation to wishing upon them during festivals. However, only 10 respondents did not recognize the guidelines for Muslims. Moving on to the next questions, only one non-Muslim respondent who will feel disappointed if if his Muslim friends do not wish, uh, or congratulate during the celebration, such as Merry Christmas or Happy Diwali and so on. And mostly 29 respondents are not going to feel disappointed if their Muslim friend missed to wish them. So we can say that most of the non-Muslim friends can still feel understanding or can live in harmony even if even if their Muslim friends did not wish uh, during their happy days or celebrations or festivals. And 38 from the respondents of the non-Muslim agreed that Muslim and non-Muslim can still live in harmony without wishing each other during religious celebrations. So these two questions is interrelated with one another, that we can see that even if the non-Muslim, even if the Muslims does not wish uh, congratulations to them during celebrations because of the guidelines that have been underlined by Sharia. So the non-Muslim did not are not going to feel disappointed or angry even if Muslim does not do that. Moving on to the section 4 actually for the Muslims. So 106 Muslim respondents were aware that there are a classification of festivals according to the religiosity, and 88 of the respondent responded that they are not going to breach uh, what has been underlined by fatwa. And however, 13 Muslims respondents will be going to say rest in peace no matter what fatwa has decided. And 24 of the respondents did not have the knowledge on alternative ways of conveying condolences to the non-Muslims. Meanwhile, most of the respondents, 89 or 78.8% of the respondents, understood that Islam prefer other options rather than saying rest in peace to the non-Muslims. And lastly, 69 respondents, or 85% of the respondents, agreed that Muslim and non-Muslim can still living in harmony even there is no wishing for celebrations. So we can see that there are some balance on the Muslims answered, Muslim respondents, and also the non-Muslim respondents here in wishing that most of the non-Muslim agreed that even if they are not wishing each other, they still can live in harmony. Similarly, as a non-Muslim, that 96 or 85% of the Muslims agreed that if they are not wishing each other, they still can live in harmony. It is based on the attitude and many other more aspects that can be measured. Next, we go to the discussion of the research that most importantly is about the differences between religious and non-religious celebrations. So, according to the Basri Ibrahim in 2016, a religious celebration entails a festive occasion where religious rituals hold greater prominence. This involves participating in a worship ceremony and adhering to customary practices inherent to the religious. While non-religious celebration is when an occasion has more prominent of customary practices and traditions than religious rituals. This also means the celebration is following the custom that have been practiced since the early generations over the time, and it become laws or rules that need to be followed, and it doesn't comply, or it is not affected in from the religious aspect. So from the as an example for the religious celebration, which are Christmas, Cap Gome, Taipusam, and Deepavali. Meanwhile, the custom celebrations, which consists of custom greetings, are is such as Chinese New Year celebration. So from the research and from the uh, understanding from the literature review and also from the what Sharia scholars have underlined. So the researcher has got underlined comprehensive guidelines on greetings to non-Muslim. First, Muslim is permitted to give non-religious greetings to non-Muslim under any occasion. This is only for the non-religious greetings. And for the religious greetings, they are prohibited to use except under some circumstances, such as for the Muslim readers to the non-Muslim citizens, um, for the Muslim reverted Muslim to the non-Muslim family to his non-Muslim family, or also for the Muslim community to his neighbor, uh, to the celebration of the neighbor, which is who is a non-Muslim. And this is need to be underlined or focused that if there is no any necessity to do so, so Muslims are not encouraged to wish a religious greetings to the non-Muslims. And the next guideline for the prayers to the non-Muslims. So prayer to the non-Muslim only allowed if they are still alive, and it is prohibited for non-Muslim who already died. For the non-Muslims who are still alive, Muslims can seek prayer for them for three aspects. First, pray for guidance. Second, well-being. And third, seek for forgiveness. While praying for forgiveness to non-Muslim who are already dead is prohibited, and saying rest in peace is prohibited to the non-Muslim because it is origins from the Christianity, and also give meanings that may God protect and have mercy on the diseased soul and body, which we as a Muslim knows that non-Muslims or kafir is not saved in the hereafter or after they die. So the conclusions for this research is that 153 respondents from Selangor have fair understanding on ruling of greetings and prayers to non-Muslims, and also most of the respondents uh, aware on the Sharia guidelines and know what is permissible for Muslims to practice while maintaining the peace and harmony in society. And also both Muslim and non-Muslim respondents agreed that if they are not wishing each other during religious celebrations, it does not mean that they are not respecting each other. Instead, to not wish and follow the guidelines from each religion is more tolerance. Second, regarding the knowledge, so as a Muslim, one should occupy oneself with knowledge of fiqh, of interaction, fiqh muamalah with non-Muslim, especially in a multiracial and plural religion country like Malaysia. And also, in addition, Muslim and non-Muslim should learn and understand each other practices and religions to ensure the tolerance, the harmony can be maintained in each other. Lastly, uh, the challenge have evolved in this advanced world. So Muslims need to be more critical and tolerant. However, the tolerance in Muslim should not exceed the Sharia guidelines, since religion is the main maqasid that need to be protected. Lastly, for the recommendations for further future research, firstly, be specific on the district selected, such as future researcher may use Gombak as a sample, so that when we limit the sample to one specific targeted group, it can be more reliable and valid. And also, future researcher may use specific targeted group, such as from what age, and then with various profession, for example. So this can be used as a variable that could bring differences in the level of understanding among respondents. And second, for future research, there should be an inclusive mechanism in identifying the celebrations. This is because nowadays, and maybe in the future, most celebration could be celebrated because of the trends, or as in trends, and not as a religious celebrations. Hence, complete research on identifying with several main celebrations is much recommended. So that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.